Fucking get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. In today's video, y'all saw it in the title, we are going to be discussing the top 10 budget decks of OP09. Look, times is hard.
Preach!
Okay, times is hard as a motherfucker out here. Okay, inflation is through the roof. Your baby mama bitching for some more money. Okay, and a jar of honey costs $15. Look, we don't got a lot of money to be spending on cards. Fact, not opinion. And so look, for all my budget players, I got you. And don't feel bad that you playing a budget deck. I'm gonna tell you this. Look, if you go to your locals, don't feel bad for playing a budget deck, or people ask you what type of deck you're playing. Oh, it's a budget. Don't even be scared of even saying that. Want to know why, delinquents? Do you truly want to know why? It's because usually the broke motherfuckers usually when they got the bad on a budget. You probably got the baddest hoe in the room. So don't even worry about it. Let's go ahead and get straight to the content, gang. Let's get it. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Like I said earlier, every single deck for OP09 that's going to be featured now is underneath $100. And one of the best decks in the format, depending on who you ask, is literally sitting underneath $100. And that is Blue Doflamingo. Blue Doflamingo has been spinning the block and fucking yo bitch every time you go to sleep. Fact, not an opinion. You know, depending on who you ask, this is either the best deck or the second best deck. My personal opinion, I think it's the second best deck. Yes, some other motherfuckers, they say it's the first deck. Doesn't matter. It's a top tier deck. One of the best decks in OP09. And it seems like it is the best deck in OP10. Relatively cheap. The only cards that's really going to be expensive here is your 3 Piranhas sitting at $11. 4 Edward Weevil, which is sitting at $11. But your big hit out of this whole entire deck is 4 Jinbei at $30. Look, you guys are getting this for a steal. I remember when this structure deck first came out, this Jinbei was up to like $10 to $15 at one point. So the fact that, you know, the overall price for this deck is underneath $100 for a tier 1 S tier deck is actually insane. And after that, you were playing the 4 Boa Hancocks. If you guys can get your hands on some of those structure decks, I would think just to, you know, possibly pick those up instead of just buying 4 and some law. Try to get 2 of them, but if you can't, you guys can literally just buy singles and literally have one of the best decks in the whole entire format. Fact, not an opinion. You are still running the Marshall D Teach. He's actually not running the Gravity Blade or Red Rock. You guys can add those in if you really feel like it. Is he running the Pudding? He's actually running out 4 puddings, so very shy ass deck in my opinion. If you guys want to play a meta contending deck, an S tier deck without breaking the bank, Blue Dofi is definitely the deck you need to pick. The only thing I'm gonna tell you about Blue Dofi, gang, is that Blue Dofi has been dominant for so long. By the time you guys get this deck, I don't know how long this deck is going to be in the meta. If you guys pay attention to OP09 and OP010 in the East, Dofi is still running people's pockets. So, you know, I'm real interested to see if Bandai is going to do something. In my personal opinion, I feel like they're going to address this deck somehow, some way. Don't know how. Hopefully they just don't ban the leader, but something will get hit, so just be wary of that. I can definitely see something happening to this particular deck. Go ahead and copy if you guys want an S tier deck on a budget. So the next deck we have is Vegapunk, sitting at $95. You guys already know what it is. This is YGOD, Yellow Gang or Die, YGOD. Shout out to all my delinquents. Man, you already know what we're doing over here, man. Our bitch is too bad, our weed is too strong, and our drip is too hard, and that's a fact, not an opinion. You already know how we getting down over here. We spinning the block with Vegapunk, and Vegapunk actually took first place at an OP08.5. I think it was like a regional. This deck, I've been telling you, this deck is really, really good. The only things you're really going to be paying for are these Rocket Luffy's and also these Namis. And I'm going to tell you something about these yellow cards just in general. If you guys do plan on playing yellow in the future, this is your time to not only probably pick up this deck, but pick up every single yellow staple, mainly this Monkey D. Luffy and this Nami, because the next set after OP10 in the East is OP11, and it's literally a yellow set. So all these cards can skyrocket. So if I was up to you guys, I'll pick up your yellow staples now. When we look at the rest of the cards in the deck, the most expensive one is the Portuguese Ace. if you guys are running yellow, this is definitely one of the best ones to, you know, cop. To be honest with you, look, no matter which yellow deck I'm running, I'm always running this Ace Closes Out Games. You have this Charlotte Lillian running at 4. I'm actually surprised it's actually running at 4. And besides these 4 cards, everything is literally dirt cheap. If you guys like a stally type of game, you know, abuse your life type of shit, this is the deck for you. Only thing is that if you go against Blackbeard, you might just get your lunch money to be honest with you. But underneath $100, I might as well go ahead and feature it, right? We have a lot of Vegapunk fans out here, and it's, you know, a YGOD member. Why not feature it, right? So with all that said, let's go to our next deck. So the next deck we have is Nami, sitting at $65. If you guys are new to the channel, we don't talk about Voldemort in our videos, so we're just gonna scroll over every single one of these cards so you guys can just see them. Yeah, we don't talk about Voldemort on this channel. He is or she is, in this instance, is banned from the channel, so we don't talk about this deck. We have all these other decks you can choose from. Don't pick this deck. If you pick this deck, you're a pussy, and I don't care how you feel about it. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of Nami, and just the whole mechanic of watching you play and me just sit there using my left hand is crazy. Okay, so $65. If you guys want to play this, don't play it. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. So the next deck we got right here is the second best combo deck in the game, in my personal opinion. Is Blue Purple Reiju. If you guys like comboing off but you don't want to play BY Luffy dropping 2 bills, this is the deck for you. You guys can see right now it's super cheap. This deck is $40. The only thing that's really going to, you know, press you is this Sanji, but you're really only using 2. It's the Porsches. Even with 4 Porsches, it's $7, which is cheap. All in all, this deck is cheap. If you guys don't know, the gist of this deck is pretty much you guys want to abuse these NGG and really EGG, really just EGG. You want to bring out the EGG. Where is EGG at? Here it is, right here. You want to bring out this EGG, you know, apply pressure as much as you possibly can with that rush, and then late game you go into the judge. You pretty much have a Gecko Mori on steroids, bringing back all your little baby type of Vinsmoke, such as this Vinsmoke EGG right here, and Reiju, and all the 2 drops, really. So that is the gist of this deck. One of the best combo decks out there, to be honest with you guys, and sitting at $39–40, you guys can't go wrong with that. Fact, not an opinion, you really can't. If you guys are on the budget, don't pick Nami, pick this and start comboing off like BY Luffy. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. Next deck we have is Red Zoro. So I'm gonna tell you one thing about this Red Zoro deck. I have searched far and wide for this deck list. Every single one of these Zoros are usually over 150 and up, but this particular list, we're sitting at $101. This is one of those other decks where I told you if it's like a $1 or $2 over, I'm going to include it. If you guys like rushing the board like Yu-Gi-Oh, attacking at face, just real aggro type of play style, this might be the deck for you. This is also a very good type of deck to really learn on, to be honest with you guys. If you guys look at what cards are really costing you, it's 4 of these Roanoa Zoros, the 3 drop that has rush, sitting at 12. The big card right here is this Tony Chopper, and the only reason why this deck is this much because this particular card comes from EB01, and everything in this EB01 set that you see right here where my mouse is at, everything is cheap. I just found out, the streets just told me that the Boon's going for $40 or $50, just a regular version, which is insane. That's just insane. So everything from this set is crazily expensive, but other than that, the only thing you're really going to be paying for is this Monkey D Dragon. You're only running 2, sitting at 13, and this is a really good shice ass deck in my personal opinion. If you guys really like rushing the board like Yu-Gi-Oh, or if you're just brand new to the whole entire One Piece card game, first off, welcome to the best channel on the platform. Fact, not an opinion. I mean, once you are subscribed to this channel, you're definitely going to get a raise. You're gonna have the baddest bitches walking you to your car, opening the door for you. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, once you're a delinquent, your whole life changes. Fact, not an opinion. So if you guys do want to play this deck, very shice, Flacco approves, very cheap, rush down, aggro, and it's also pretty good into Blackbeard as well. And from what it looks like, Blackbeard will be probably the most represented deck in our upcoming 09 format. So if you guys like rush down decks, this is the deck for you. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. I gotta be real with y'all, out of every single deck out here, this has probably some of the most biggest fan base I've ever seen with any type of deck that's just literally ass. This deck, I'm just playing, this deck is not ass. This deck actually has a top. I just like talking shit about some of these decks that you don't see. But Boa Hancock, if you guys want me to be honest, it's I mean, I'll probably put it in top 20. Top 20 for sure. Not definitely not top 10, but I mean, you're paying $67. Okay, if you guys do want a tier 1 type of deck, you might as well get Dofi. But if you guys don't want to play Dofi, here's another, you know, flavor of blue you guys could use. He's actually running the Gravity Blade and Gum Red Rock and the Hound Blaze. I'm actually liking this a little bit more than the Dofi package, maybe because it's a different package and I'm not seeing the same cards. I don't know. We keep on looking. They are actually still using a lot of the same cards used in the Doflamingo deck. That's the reason why you see a lot of people still opting out to use the Doflamingo deck. But if you guys are a fan of this you know, Boa Hancock, yeah, this deck's only $67, y'all. You really can't go wrong with it. Very good option if you don't want to play blue Dofi. Pretty viable just because of the pudding. As long as you can run pudding, Red Rock, and Gum, this deck will always be viable, to be honest with y'all. So $67, blue Hancock, can't go wrong. Fan favorite. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. So the next deck we have is Red Yellow Bellow Betty. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this is probably one of the best. I honestly feel like this is the best aggro deck in OP09. Shanks is not really an aggro deck. It's more stall, so you get to in-game to drop your boss monsters, kind of like Yellow. But if you just really just want to aggro, rush the board, you know, slap you in the face, turn 1 type shit, this is the deck for you. This is probably the best aggro deck out there, and it's only sitting at $47. And on top of that, this particular deck got a whole bunch of support in OP09, and a lot of those OP09 cards that are out are literally since, you know, penny rolls at this point. Okay, so $47, even if you get all the new Revel support OP09, I still don't see this being over $100. So if you guys do want the best aggro deck in the game for low on the low, this is definitely the deck for you. We'll just take a look at, see what's expensive. It's really just this right here to close out games. He's only running 2 Monkey D. Luffy, but this is really just here to close out games because it can't be blocked. And 3 dragons. Dragons has gone up, but 3 of them are at $20. That's literally your whole deck. Everything else is literally since, you know, double mint pack gum type of prices here. So, you know, if this is something you're really looking forward to and you guys are brand new, don't want to break the bank, you could start off with this and then really just upgrade it OP09. You still probably won't be over $80. So out of all the decks out there besides Blue Doflamingo, this might still have the highest ceiling for you to upgrade in the current set that we're in. Very shice in my opinion. If you are new, pick it up, gives YGOD and the best aggro, and it's the best aggro deck in the game, and that's not even up for debate. Let's go ahead and get straight to our next deck. Next deck we have right here is Purple Luffy, sitting at $75. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying, Purple Luffy, it's not $75, it's Bankai. Look, motherfuckers want to play this Purple Luffy deck without having to break the bank, okay? Especially since in OP09, a lot of cards that got released, such as Gum Giant, is since right now, okay? I think there's another one that's like Lightning or Thunder, where it removes the 6 cost allure. That shit's cheap. I think the Sanji regular art's only like $4 or $5. The only card that's really expensive in this deck that you guys can't get is the new secret from OP09 and Bankai. But if you guys still just want to play Purple Luffy, especially for all my new players, y'all don't need to be spending that much money on the newer cards anyways. Just practice this form of the deck, and once you start learning how the deck works, then you can slowly progressively go up. When you just look at a price to see what's the most expensive, is the 4 Magellan. Hey, like I said, if you're on a budget, this is definitely the wave of what you're gonna have to spend for Magellan. And also, if you are new, never bad to have a playset of good cards. And quite honestly, I'd rather have you get the 4 Magellans now before this card ever goes up, because, you know, this is the cheapest it's ever going to be, because OP09, they don't really use Magellan anymore. But for my budget players, this is definitely a very shice list for you still to use. The other card that's really expensive for you is this one Sanji. You're just gonna have to buy it. Use this Captain Kid. And like I said earlier, this deck can really be upgraded with OP09. You have the Law, you have the Sanji, you have the Gum Giant, Gum Thunder, and then quite possibly the Bonclays and the secret Monkey D Luffy, depending on whenever you feel like upgrading. But if you guys just want a base build just to start off with and you're brand new, this is definitely a good starting point, especially if you plan on playing Luffy for a long time. And it's also one of the best decks in OP09, and it's also one of the top 3 decks in OP10 as well. So very good option for all our budget players. Let's go ahead and get straight into our next deck. Now for our next deck is ʤauⱠⱠ. Now, like, I'm gonna tell you something about ʤauⱠⱠ. This is probably one of the best glass cannon decks out there. This deck really rushes the board. The whole gist of this deck is really just to abuse this Porch D ace, and mainly, where is he? It's this big body right here. You really want to cheat out this big body from jalgaera's effect, and then after that, you want to cheat out and get a life back with this Norland. I'm gonna tell you one thing about this particular deck. I'll scroll over all these cards, but let me tell you something about this deck here real quick. In EBO2, there's a brand new card coming out that allows you to search Nolan. And the problem with this deck was you can't search out this card in this deck. And that was the only reason why this deck folded. The fact that in EBO2, every single color has a blanket searcher, this deck, I feel like this deck is just gonna blow everybody out the water. Fact not, I don't even think people are even going to expect it. So if you do want to play something that's like fast-paced, rushing, but you still want to be, you know, a delinquent YGOD type shit, this is the best deck you need to play, because in the next EBO2 set getting ready to release in the East, this deck goes from probably like a DC tier to possibly a B or A tier, just because of those searchers just being able to search out this Nolan here. So jalgaⱠⱠ, very good option, $40. So you can max out rarity this deck for like 70. If I was you, I would pick this up now. All it'll take is this deck to start topping once EBO2 comes out in the East, and all these cards are going to be expensive as hell. So if you guys are a fan of jalgaⱠⱠ and you guys do want to play something that rushes the board, the future is looking very great for you, okay, quite honestly. And you need to pick this up right now if you guys plan on playing anything yellow going into OP09 and EBO2. So that's all I got for jalgaⱠⱠ. Very class canny type deck. Let's go to get straight to the next deck. And the last deck we're gonna go over is green yellow Yamato, sitting at $58. If you guys like really applying a lot of pressure on the leader from just attacking twice and just doing the good old-fashioned Onami Yamato banish attack twice type of combo, this is the deck for you. When we look at everything that's really expensive, it's really these Porch D aces from the structure deck. The main reason why it's so expensive is because it is from the structure deck. You are ending off games with the Hody Jones, and then everything else is just really abusing all the broken yellow cards, such as this Charlotte Cracker. I'm always a big fan of Cracker in any yellow deck that's not BY Luffy. If you guys can run it, run it. You got the Frankie. This card's pretty good for just hitting standing characters. Kiku for some type of trigger happy plays out of life. This can really just end games, just applying pressure when you just attack with 1 extra Don. And if it is removed from the field, you get an extra life. You have 3 life or lower. Very shice. And yeah, everything else is pretty much, you know, the same. Yamato, a good deck, $58. Yellow deck as well. So, and yeah, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed this budget list. A lot of people are asking me, you know, how and what deck should I use. I'm on a budget. I hope this video helped y'all, bro. I gave y'all 10 decks. Now, motherfucker, it's time for you to choose. Which one you gonna choose? You better choose something shy so I can see y'all stream, so I can yell at you the whole time with y'all pretty asses. I'm just playing. Hey, look, that's all I got. Hope you guys had a chuckle or two, but yeah, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you feel the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It gone.